Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you guys back. Appreciate you guys coming in, depending on the time of the world where you're at. I know we are all in some very different places. This is Galaxy Radio episode 23 featuring Salad Ventures. My name is Duncan, but you guys know me as Weatherboy. This week, we have Wesley, the co founder, joining us to talk about some recent updates and airdrop alpha. If you guys have seen the Twitter for SaladVentures. For those that don't know the format of what we do weekly, we have a first half, which is a AMA section. And then after the AMA section, I stay on with you guys for a little bit afterwards to round off the hour. We're going to talk about some Galaxy updates, some reminders, as well as some recent news and some interesting things going on in the crypto landscape and the world. I appreciate you guys for coming in. Let's go ahead and dive right into it for today. We have Wesley or Captain Aqua. Feel free to let me know which one you'd like to be called during these calls, and feel free to introduce yourself and let us know how you yourself got into crypto.
Absolutely. A very warm welcome to one and all from the Galaxy fam joining us here today. Thank you, Duncan
Glad to have you.
and Weatherboy, for the introduction. Yes, it is such a pleasure. And I guess I can offer the same question to you, sir. Which name would you rather I address you?
Yeah, let's do. I'll go Weatherboy.
All right, cool. You can just refer to me as Wes or Wesley. That's completely fine
Of
for
course.
today's discussion. So yeah, I think right before we perform the introductions, I'm not sure whether you have the request up from my colleague Gabriel. I think he has already requested to speak. So I
Oh, I
think
see
right
him
before we get the
there.
ball rolling, yep, I'm gonna be pulling him up onto stage. And there he is. Welcome, buddy. Yeah, so I think I'll perform a very quick introduction in regards to SaladVentures. I'll let Gabriel expand on that later and perform his own introductions as well. So again, a big
Course.
thank you to the Galaxy fam, Weatherboy, for hosting. It's a pleasure to be on the Galaxy Radio episode number 23. And basically for us here at SaladVentures, we are very proud to be a big part of the Galaxy ecosystem because I'm sure that many of you are familiar in regards to the Salad Gem NFT series, the campaigns, and you will get to hear from Gabriel as well later, who thought of the entire concept to begin with. But we
Amazing.
started out as an Axie Infinity guild, and that was all the way back in May 2021. So, of course, with the primary vision of play to earn, we have since expanded our vision to the X-2-Earn ecosystem that we are building. That includes the key pillars like the Gem NFT series. Thanks to the Galaxy platform, we could reach out to users and like-minded individuals for this collect and earn experience. We are also building the Apollo Academy. That's the learn and earn pillar. Building a work and earn pillar as well, sort of like a quest to earn platform in the form of a decentralized labor exchange called Maslow that's going to be built in 2024. And also keeping true to our roots with a play and earn platform in the form of Arcaden, all right? So we have all of that today, and we can probably go into the more specific details later on. But I think right before the Galaxy fam, we stand here before you today, very, very grateful for all the support that you have shown in the entire Gem NFT series and what we have been able to create. All right. And just a quick introduction about myself. I am the co-founder and the community lead for SaladVentures. Currently, I was the chief gaming officer because I was responsible for the training of the scholars and breeding of the Axies for the guild. But you know, Duncan, the irony is that nowadays I do very little gaming, all right? But it's part and parcel of the building process. But yeah, I continue to lead the community, create content to educate all about the Salad mission and how we can build together. I'll just hand this time over to Gabriel to perform some introductions of his own as well.
Yeah, but before Gabriel starts, I just want to say, great intro. Your content, I've actually checked out the podcast that you do. Gives me something to strive for as well as
No,
building an
weather boy.
NFT
You are
itself.
definitely on my level. I just love the way you kickstarted the entire session as well. The vibes were amazing. And
Thank
again,
you
just
so
so
much.
glad to be part of this experience with you, sir.
No, I appreciate it greatly, and everything you guys do with Galaxy. You guys have been here for such a long time. Even from my start here, I always saw Salad Ventures, right? All of these different campaigns, these creative aspects you guys are doing with your community. I love the gaming aspect always. I'm a big fan. I also find myself doing less and less gaming these days as well. So I'm right there with you. Maybe we can go to that towards the end. We can talk about that a little bit. But before we continue, Gabriel, feel free to give a quick introduction to yourself as well and what you're doing at the Salad Ventures team.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Gabriel. I'm the growth lead at SaladVentures, and a lot of my day-to-day involves marketing as well as the operations. But a huge part of what I do is really around Galaxy. So some of the campaigns that you might have seen, whether it's the Salad Academy NFTs back in the day, or the gem campaigns and the supply crates that you see now. These are all kind of like the ideas that started for me, and we have an amazing team to put it into motion.
Yeah, you guys have gone quite the way through the Galaxy ecosystem. Honestly, 3 million mints is a massive number that you guys have done so far. 40K KYC users. I'm curious on the sort of path that you guys have taken. Was this a sort of like planned roadmap? Has this always kind of been on the fly? Like, how do you guys get to this point, and sort of what's the work ethic there with the different pillars in Salad?
I'm so glad because we'll be able to hear it from Gabriel himself. I've always been the one to explain sort of like what was going through his mind and what the process was. But now I'm just so happy to really hear it from the man himself, the man responsible for the Gem NFTs.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great question. So, I think I shared briefly about this in our last AMA, but we've always been pretty close partners with Galaxy, and obviously, like minting of NFTs is something that a lot of people are familiar with. And the way that we look at it, or the way that I looked at it, was that I personally felt that NFTs was probably the best way to acquire users in a Web3 space, right? Because it's pretty simple. All you need is a bit of crypto, you need a MetaMask, and then you can get to mint an NFT or buy NFTs. So I would say NFTs are sort of like the gateway for
Mhm.
most people into Web3 in general, right? And the way that we came about with these campaigns, it was really just first of all, having uh, our own products, right? So we have the Academy, which has a bunch of courses that we co-create. Cap Wesley himself co-creates these content with other project leads. And that's the Apollo Academy. We also have Arcaden, that's like an arcade, an online arcade that allows people to play games and earn prizes. Um, so for us, when it came about to the gem NFTs in particular, it was more of thinking of a way to get people involved into our projects, to join our ecosystem, and having a fun campaign that people can participate in. So that's how the gems came about, and we have really good graphic artists, like 3D designers that made it look super amazing.
Yeah, no, I've always been very impressed with the art style that you guys have brought forward when it came to the different campaigns you put together. It's always been very exciting, and I love the creativity. It's very easy to just put something out that's simple that people will kind of flock to. It takes a lot to go above and beyond, and I think it really shows in the community. And we kind of see it long term because these communities that we gather through these creative campaigns, through this sort of growth process, gaming, everything that you mentioned, the learning process as well. Um, it's just so fun to see that people stick around and grow and learn with you. And before we go into the deeper aspects of the Gem NFT, um, I just wanted to ask you if you could do this for us, for those that might not fully get have been involved with Salad, or get Salad so far. Could you give us the most simple explanation of Salad, each pillar as well?
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Gabe, do you want me to like perhaps grab the first two pillars and then maybe we could cover the rest?
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe just to start off, like what we are at Salad, we're basically an X-2-Earn ecosystem, and we help Web3 projects grow, including our own, right? So that's what we do in a nutshell.
Hmm.
And I think Wes can go into, a little bit more about Arcaden as well as the Academy.
All right, absolutely. So again, what we mentioned very briefly earlier with the entire X-to-Earn vision was that thanks to Galaxy, we were able to identify a lot of users in the space, and we wanted to send a lot of these extra incentives and rewards to such users, which is why the KYC process from Galxe is such an integral part in our system, and then helps us to identify real collectors and for them to be rewarded accordingly. And ultimately, we want to translate that to the other pillars as well. And Gabriel did mention Arcaden very briefly, because Arcaden essentially started out as an online hyper-casual arcade. It still is. But we have a lot of plans in place to integrate the Salad Gem NFT series into Arcaden as well, to continue
Very
to
cool.
provide that play and earn experience. Yeah. And it's something that we have already announced in a couple of AMAs. We're working on this clicker game. We're hoping to launch it in sometime in August, and we would be able to see some of our artists utilize their gem NFTs, their hard-earned and collected gem NFTs into the experience, and obviously allow them to enjoy more utilities from the collection itself. And basically, the Apollo Academy is something that we started out because of the guild, because back in the day, we were actually hopping on Zoom calls with our scholars, and we were teaching them more or less individually how to play. And then ultimately, when we started to expand, we realized that we couldn't maintain that frequency of Zoom calls. So we started to create these
100%.
courses and tutorials. Yeah, exactly. So these scholars would not only need to pass an IQ test, they would need to take a personality test as well, and then they would need to get certified as having completed the Axie Infinity course. And again, thanks to Galxe, we were able to identify these individuals because they would be able to mint the NFT that certifies them as an Axie Infinity course attendee. But of course, since then, the Salad Academy has been rebranded and evolved into the Apollo Academy, where we now provide education for free on all topics across Web3. And I think what's the most exciting part of this platform is that we bring in all of our partners. We even have Galxe on the platform as well represented, and they talk about Web3 values, education, and all this is put together by us and pieced together for the masses who want more will be able to get themselves that sense of Web3 knowledge absolutely for free by hopping onto the Apollo Academy. So that more or less covers up the main three pillars. We also have Club Salad, which is an in real life events community here in Singapore that allows builders to network. Yeah, absolutely. It's super fun. We provide a lot of value as well to these builders because they get to connect regularly. And we just want to keep doing that as well because we want to be able to help Web3 projects grow just exactly like how Galxe has done the same for us.
I love that. I love the IRL aspect that you guys have done for the builders, especially. That's very cool. And you don't see a lot of that, or at least I haven't seen a lot of that personally myself. Funny thing that you mentioned the teaching aspect and realizing the scalability of the one-on-ones. We used to actually teach like every new partner how to use Galxe, right? And they
Oh, no way.
eventually, yeah, eventually it got to a point where it was like, oh, this is a lot, right? Now we're 2,400 different people using the platform, right? You kind of have to very quickly understand like how fast growth can happen, and meet the demands, but in the best way possible for everybody. So I completely agree with you there. And I do agree on the education aspect being super important long term. So it's very exciting to see you guys working so hard on that. I like to touch on that in the second half of this. We sometimes go over a little bit of learning as well. So that's a great explanation, though. I love the vast variety, I would say, that you guys have put together from just starting out as an Axie guild too. That's super cool. Very great intro. And now we've talked about this a lot. We'll go right into it. Gem NFTs. How do I get a gem NFT? Can I still participate in receiving gem NFTs? If not, what was the process and the buildup of this campaign, and what did it mean for you guys?
Oh, that's a huge question. Yeah, so the campaign is
Sorry
is
about that.
ongoing. No worries. The campaign is ongoing. It was started in December last year, so a little bit over 5 months now since the campaign was started. And you can just go to our space on Galxe and take a look at all the available campaigns there, right? So the way that we started was, we were mostly making use of the social credentials, right? So it's like
Mhm.
just liking our Twitter accounts, like following us, retweeting, etc. And we decided like to make it a more engaging experience for people, rather than doing a one-off task and getting an OET, which you would just collect as a badge. We decided that okay, we wanted a sort of like a central reward system for all the campaigns that will be running at Salad, right? So regardless of what kind of action you took, we wanted to reward you with an NFT from the gem series. So it started off with just 5 gems. You have, the purple, bronze, silver, gold, and rainbow. And as you did like simple tasks, like for example, the tweet, you would get to mint a purple gem. And you get to forge like 10 of these to like bronze, and then 10 bronze to 10 to silver, and 10 silver to a gold, etc., all the way up to rainbow. And then subsequently we started introducing a little bit more interesting stuff to it. So to gamify it even more, so we introduced like weapons where now you can forge the gems that you collect into swords, into spears, axes, daggers. You can also upgrade these weapons. And we introduced like a failure rate to kind of make it seem a little bit more like a video game, right? Because in most video games, you don't get to upgrade weapons for free. Like you have to pay a price, or there's like a failure rate, right? And it usually goes higher as the rarity goes up, right? And then we introduced like mystery boxes where there's a percentage chance of getting one of everything, either a bronze, or you could even get a rainbow. So we started giving those out, and the way that the reason is just to like maintain the supply, right? Like or rather like the ratio. We didn't want to give too many higher tiered gems and lower the value for our collectors, right? So instead we were like, okay, we can give as many loot boxes as we want, because the distribution rate follows the combining the forging ratios, right? So it's like you have a 1 in 1,000 chance to get a rainbow gem, same as if you would have forged it from purple gems.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at the Rainbow Axe right now, and it's pretty awesome. Just wanted to throw that out there. And
Yeah.
real quick, before we continue, I see there's just a tiny bit of confusion in the chat. So guys, forging is a bit different than just the classic mystery box. It means in the sense of forging 3 for 1. Can give you a chance to receive this specific NFT, whereas as well as we do have a mystery box campaigns where it's just complete the tasks and then you can mint 1 NFT. So I just wanted to make that clear in the chat for anybody that was confused. Yeah, I see Akko replying as well, because I saw Alex's question. It was something that we were going to mention as well for sure, but glad we could cover that for you. Sorry,
It's interesting because I misunderstood him, Weather Boy.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
I saw that
And
too. No, it's okay.
yeah, we will get to clarify that, because that is actually not the loot boxes that Gabriel is referring to right now. Because that is actually some of the alpha that we leaked in our own Discord, and we'll get to talk a little bit more at this radio show as well. The Genesis Gem loot boxes will allow all attendees here today. I don't have to explain to the Galaxy community on how that works, right? So that everybody knows what to do. But essentially, you claim the 5 loot boxes, and the blockchain will mint for you 5 random gems. It could be 5 bronze, 4 bronze, 1 gold, 4 bronze, 1 silver. Who knows? 1 rainbow could be amongst the 5 as well, and that would do a lot for your collection. But I think what he is referring to is the weapons loot box, all right? And that is actually currently in development, all right? So we'll probably expand a little bit more there later, but just to answer Alex's question, the percentile rate that you see, that hasn't been disclosed yet. And what I mean by that in the announcement is that there are going to be certain percentage rates for how certain weapons will be minted, all right? The chance, the probability of you getting a certain weapon within the weapon loot box. So obviously, if you get like the uncommon loot box, the percentage chance, the probability to get the super rare rainbow weapons would obviously be less than the bronze. But we'll talk more about that in a bit. But thank you for that question.
Oh, of course. And so yeah, going a bit more into this, I love the idea. It really just incites the kind of fire in me of a collector. Especially, I've always loved kind of collecting through games as well. Even physical games. I've been a Magic the Gathering collector for a bit as well. So I like to collect the actual cards as well. Um, and opening the packs for cards has always been such a joy, right? And you can really kind of transfer that into these
Yes,
loot boxes and these forging, right? It goes
exactly.
back to this like early kind of desire that you have, and it's just so fun. And so, to be super clear for everybody that will get the users attending today that will get a Gem NFT loot box, can we just be extra clear on what they'll kind of expect from that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Gabriel can also add on to this because he is so graciously showing a screenshot from the
Yes.
Galaxy platform that really provides the transparency of what these loot boxes are all about. So yeah, Gabriel, go ahead. Let's share the good news with everybody on what are they getting later.
Yeah, for sure. So the way that these mystery boxes work, right? It's that they're not like a typical loot box NFT that's on chain. So what happens is when you go to a mystery box campaign on Galaxy, they Galaxy system before when we create the campaign, we get to set the percentage rates of getting certain NFTs from the mystery box, right? And Galaxy's platform will run the random number generator to decide, okay, which of the 4 or 5 or how many ever NFTs within is the one that you're going to mint. So that is how the system works. So, the way that we've been giving these out, like I said, we control the total supply, or rather like the ratio, right, of the rarer gems. And that allows us to like distribute as many loot boxes as we want without lowering the value of the collection for some of our more hardcore collectors. So yeah, like after attending AMAs like this, we typically have rewards for almost all of the actions taken within our ecosystem and our project. So if you attend this AMA, for example, you'll be entitled to like 5 loot boxes, which you can mint after. It could be, whether it's a bronze gem or a rainbow gem, that's purely up to chance.
Yeah, and that's going to be very exciting. I think I should count as well as a listener. So hopefully, so
No,
um,
you will
I
definitely.
can
Yeah,
certainly make sure
I've been
that I
on a few
count.
AMAs.
So one thing that I believe we had a question on in the chat actually that you just kind of referenced there, Aqua.
Mhm.
Um, they gain access to the magical forge with no forging failure rates. So this essentially, just to be clear for everyone, means that when you're forging, you're going to definitely get the specific item, no failure whatsoever. Just so everybody's clear.
Yes, absolutely. That was actually something that we introduced into the system to provide a more intense gamified element of
And
the Salad
I
Gem
do
NFT
like the
series.
idea of something failing. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, the Wolf game that came out during the bull market. It was like there was a bunch of forks of it, but
Uh-huh.
essentially, yeah, it was mint a wolf NFT or mint. Sorry, it was mint a sheep, right? And there's a
Right.
chance that the wolf will eat your sheep when you mint it,
Oh.
and then the sheep itself passively earns you a token. And then the
Oh
more
my
sheep you
goodness.
mint, the more tokens you get, but there's always a chance that the wolf will eat your sheep. So it was I personally had so much fun. I definitely put way too much money into it than I should have. Yeah, but it was that kind of like, oh, will I get what I need or will this fail? It is a very fun mechanic. Yeah, Benny Morrow, the Wolf game is very nostalgic at this point, even though it was only last year technically. So hopefully back to another bull market soon, of course, guys. But yeah, definitely a throwback for me, and I do love that mechanic for sure.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
because
guys.
that mechanic was like meant to give that extra incentive for the early collectors to make that risk, right? And without
100%.
risk, there's no reward. So I think what ties in back to that question is that because the top collectors that were captured in a recent snapshot that took place on the 31st of May, we're actually planning to distribute the Arcadian VIP pass that grants them access to the Magical Forge, so they won't have to worry about their
Amazing.
sheets getting eaten anymore. So yes, that's the plan, and also to
That's
reward
awesome.
those early adopters, no doubt.
It's a great metaphor, honestly. It's funny because the final piece of that mechanic was you could actually if you were early enough, you could mint a wolf and then eat other people's sheeps. So there was always it turns into that
Oh
PvP,
my
right? But
goodness.
yeah, so it
This
was
is such a
yeah,
It's
you
giving
could be
Gabriel anxiety
stealing you could be
thinking about
stealing
it.
someone's NFT essentially. If you ate the
Oh
sheep,
dear.
it was yours, right?
Oh
So if
my.
you like when the price of the token skyrocketed, just because of the popularity, right? You would be spending a few $100 to get a sheep, right, in hopes that you could start earning passive, and then someone steals it. So it was
Yikes.
absolutely insane. Yeah. Hopefully, there's no we have no stealing at Salad, but um, then we'd
Now
have
you're
some
giving
really fun
Gabriel ideas.
questions.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
some good ideas
yeah.
for
Nah. I think we have
PvP.
enough of that. yeah, but
Very
but
fun though. Very
yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to quickly add, right, like for the benefit of the listeners, so we've been running this campaign for quite some time, and it's really something that Wesley and myself we're very invested in personally because. Obviously, as gamers, we want to make it an amazing experience and do right by our community. So one of the things that we mentioned or we released recently, right, to reward all of the gem holders, is that we actually have launched our official airdrop campaign for the Salad token. Um, and if you're a gem holder, you're a gem collector, and you've been collecting a ton of these, like you actually get points on our airdrop campaign. So that's something that was launched on the 27th of May, so just a couple of weeks ago. And that campaign is still ongoing, right? And we're going to be adding more actions for you guys to farm our tokens. But yeah, definitely check it out if you guys haven't. And there's another NFT series that we've launched as well. I don't know if Weatherboy wants to talk about that, but
That's the next
we've been very, very busy.
one.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are right ahead of me for sure. I was gonna dive right into that, so thank you for that. I know you guys just launched the Sply, I believe it is, or let me know if I'm saying it correctly, of course. But there's the Sply Crate NFT drop, and I was gonna ask you guys to cover that today for everybody listening as well, because we retweeted that about 3 hours ago as well. I saw that on Twitter, so please let us know the Sply Crate NFT drop.
Yeah, for sure. So the supply crates or Sply as we named it. Yeah. So they're like the first NFTs of a new series that we're releasing that's called SaladVentures. Shout out to Charles from Galxe for giving us the idea for the name.
He
So
has a
SaladVentures, yeah, for sure. So SaladVentures is like the latest campaign that we've launched. And this campaign is on Polygon, right? So for the World of Caden gem NFTs, that's on the BNB chain. For SaladVentures, that's on Polygon. So the supply crates, those are the first NFTs released in this new series. And minting these NFTs again give you points for the airdrop campaign. And currently they are not tradable, right? So we set the contract so that the NFTs are not tradable. But the plan is after the airdrop is completed, we're planning to make these crates tradable, and we're actually gonna let people open up these crates, and that's how the brand new NFT series is going to begin. So we really like to play around these like mystery FOMO kind of like narrative, but we want to make it fun for everyone that's involved.
No, I love that. The opening aspect is such a fun piece to have. And there's currently no date, no end date for this at the moment, because I saw Wesley might have mentioned in the chat as well. There's no date for the airdrop as well.
Yeah, we don't have the official snapshot date for the airdrop campaign. So everybody who's listening in right now, whether be it you have your Salad passport and your gems and your supply crates, there is still plenty of time for you to absorb all the information and start collecting and start earning those points at airdrop.salad.ventures. And essentially, when we have the confirmed date, that announcement will definitely be made. But for now, again, same thing. More qualifying actions to be expected as well. So there is going to be plenty of time to build on your points tally.
Oh, that's very exciting. And you mentioned a points tally. is there I know because gaming, is there a leaderboard that people can refer to as well?
Oh yeah, the
Um,
gem leaderboard.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll let Gabriel talk about that.
yeah, for sure. So we have like a couple of things that's going, well, more than a couple of things, right? But so there's one leaderboard that shows your exact ranking. So that's specifically for the gem NFTs, right? Like every gem that you collect, there's a point allocated to the gem depending on the rarity. And there's a leaderboard that shows who has the most points, etc. For the airdrop campaign, we have not released any information with regards to that. So with regards to when the snapshot's going to be taken, when the airdrop's actually going to happen, no official announcement has gone out on that yet. But we are implementing some new features to the airdrop page, as well as like adding more qualifying actions in. So something that we're adding soon is basically a ranking system of sorts. So you won't see your exact ranking, but it will tell you like which percentile you're in, right? So if you're in the top 1%, the top 10%, etc., and you will be, when we do the distributions for the Salad tokens, like the percentile you're in will be, it will depend on which percentile you're in, right? So that's what's going on at the moment for that.
That's so cool because a lot of the time, I mean, airdrop farming has been around for a long time, but you never really know what point you're at. So I think that's just adds another level to it of fun. Because at the end of the day, it is kind of fun farming for like completing specific tasks, aiming for an end goal, right? And in the process, you get all these amazing NFTs and experiences, and the learning process at the same time. Someone can come in fresh to something like this, just start here with the supply drop, right? Start to feel around, and next thing you know, they're way more invested in NFTs than they ever were, right? And like you mentioned, it is that gateway. And I think that campaigns like this and initiatives like this for online communities, long term, are going to be really game changing, especially when it comes to onboarding the next billion, right? Which is the goal. So, yeah, I just want to appreciate the wonderful explanations and the awesome campaigns and initiatives you guys have put forth. And I'm super grateful to have you guys on. My last question for you guys today, kind of random and off topic, I guess. You mentioned, Wesley, you're the chief of gaming. Would you feel free to let us know, like even growing up, what was your favorite game? What's your number one?
Oh, absolutely. I would correct you slightly there, my friend. I used to be the chief gaming officer.
Chief gaming
Now,
officer. There it is. Thank you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. That we've sort of changed that title, obviously, because of the amount
Yeah.
of gaming I've done these days. But yeah, I would say that if I were to really draw back on my childhood, guys, a little bit of chain of memories from a boomer coming in, guys, and
Oh,
I'm talking about
amazing.
like the Nintendo 64 with Mario Kart, Super Mario, playing the early versions of Konami, Pro Evolution Soccer. But I would say, in regards to like my main development as a gamer, I spent a lot of time playing Dota. Gabriel also is a huge Dota fan, but I was one of the few. I was one of the individuals blessed to be able to play those early versions that was on the
Yeah.
Frozen Throne platform, the version 5.8
Wow.
for C and all that. I didn't get into Dota 2 too much because by then I started to game a little bit less, but I did play a lot of that
Mhm.
back in the day. But then that was when I sort of like rekindled my passion for gaming, specifically through Axie, and then I started to find this new love for card playing games. And most recently,
Awesome.
I do spend whatever available time I have on Marvel Snap. I love that game so much, and it just gives a lot more punch to the experience. But yeah, that's a little bit about my gaming history. Thank you.
No, I love that. I have a lot of the same kind of love I think that you have for these specific games. And I also do find a ton of enjoyment in card games, just kind of any card game, honestly. And Gabriel, finally, same question to you.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Wesley is like totally a boomer. I have no idea what's a Nintendo 64. Um, probably wasn't born yet. But yeah, for me, I think like nowadays, if I do have time, I do play like Dota 2.
Mm.
For those of you who do play, like I play a lot of Toxic Heroes. Like just recently picked up Meepo. But when I was growing up, probably like I think the game that I spent the most time and money on was like Maple Story, I think.
Oh wow.
So that's where, yeah, so that was like where a lot of the inspiration came from, right? Because you used to do like scrolling and stuff on your weapons, and then they would just explode in your face.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was probably like the most influential game I've ever played. Yeah.
No, I love that. I didn't get quite into Dota like you guys did, but I did get sucked into the League of Legends hole, so I understand the the MOBA experience. So I totally get you guys there. That's awesome. No, and I just one last time I want to thank you guys for coming on. And do you have any final words for everybody listening today?
No, like I think both Wesley and I really appreciate the opportunity to share more with the amazing Galaxy community. And yeah, I think the last thing that I wanted to mention was that, you know, at Salad we really are a bunch of unique individuals, and I think we see the crypto space in a very different light. We want to build something where, you know, everyone would benefit, and that's the entire definition of an ecosystem, right? So looking after our community is super important for us. We really thank you guys for all your support, minting all our NFTs. And yeah, we look forward to bringing you more amazing stuff.
Wow, absolutely spot on. I think at the end of the day, right, it's such an opportunity for myself because I've not uh, been on the Galaxy platform before for an AMA. So being able to have the opportunity to extend our gratitude to the community, to the ecosystem, to the platform, for all the builders that have made all this possible, we will continue to build and do right by all of you. Yes, because we've seen Gabriel has seen the success from his SaladVentures NFT series, and we didn't just sit on that. He wanted to build relentlessly on it, continue adding to the quality, the content, the narrative, and ultimately that has led us to where we are today with the airdrop campaign. All right. So again, guys, we thank you so much for your support. Rest assured that right here at SaladVentures and powered by Galaxy, which is a relationship that we are absolutely very grateful for, we're going to keep plugging in relentlessly once more to give you that value and to keep on going as we build for a better Web3 future for everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Amazing words. I appreciate it greatly. The work that you guys do is what keeps us here through bear or bull. It doesn't matter. Community, I believe, is truly important. It's about connecting, and if we're gonna win, we might as well win together, right? So, I appreciate you guys coming
Amen.
on. I want to thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Gabriel. Gabriel, we love everything you do. Keep coming up with those amazing ideas. Some awesome campaigns we talked about today. Guys, go participate in everything Salad. Rack up your points. Get on that leaderboard. Earn your tokens. It's the spirit of it, right? Collect some cool NFTs. Let's have some fun. We're going to share all the links in the chat. We're going to share them all later as well. Again, I want to appreciate everybody for listening into this first half. Don't go anywhere. We're not done. Thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Gabriel. Feel free to head out for today. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Thanks again. And Ilya, feel free to just play the hold music. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks, Weather Boy. Take care, Galaxy fam. Appreciate you all. Keep building, everybody.
Appreciate you guys. Cheers.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much. Don't